Hello, I'm Dr. John Lukomona and back again with you, online TV, AYB Netcast, and I'm with wonderful people here with me. On my left, I'll let them introduce themselves, and I'm right here at 1863 Limited, one of the best companies in the United Kingdom, and you see why this is important. Can you introduce yourself on that?
Yes, I'm Deirdre Labassiere, General Counsel of 1863 Limited.
I'm David Oloke. I'm Principal Consultant for Progressive Concepts Consultancy Limited. Thank you.
And the purpose of this meeting is to make sure that you and I will meet together right here at 1863 Limited on the 2nd of June 2012. It is a Jubilee weekend. How can you miss? We're going to be doing lots of workshops looking at how we can exchange our cultures from business to business, from different ethnic group to a different ethnic group. What are the sort of things that go very well in each of these? Come on now, if you're making 50% profit in your business, we want to know how you're making it. If you're doing 90%, we want to know how you're doing that and more. And we're going to be talking about a number of things here in the next few minutes. Deirdre.
Yes.
You are phenomenal in your business. Would you like to tell us what actually you do? Because I've read your resume in there. I think people want to know what exactly you're about.
Okay. Through 1863, we are actually involved in the business of empowerment and enablement. We utilize various strategies to do that. We are involved with investments. We're involved in project finance. We use legal means and acumen in order to do the same. And what we frankly do quite often is marry investors, potential investors, with particular projects, advising on the structures involved in order to come to a win-win solution.
Perfect. That sounds very posh. Now, you know that we also cover lots of other people who are not very technical in terms of this financial world.
Absolutely.
When you talk about enablement and marriage, what do you mean?
Well, in terms of enablement, what we will do is specifically on the ground, we will take people's business plans, we will walk them through a transactional process until we can come to a position where they are fit for purpose. Whether it is that they come to us and they have not yet formed a company or a right type of company in order to get them to the position where they can attract the investors or they can attract the finance into their organization, we will assist them throughout that entire process, and that's working with individuals, companies and nation states.
Did you hear that? Individuals, companies and nation states, regardless of where you are, when you do see 1863 Limited, they'll be able to assist you. Now, for you, when you come to the workshop, you find out, you're presenting, aren't you presenting?
I am presenting.
Yeah, she's going to be presenting. When you meet Deirdre there, you're going to see a lot of things that you can actually sort of link in and how she can help you. It's very important because most people that want to go into business, they struggle to look at a roadmap. A business plan is a roadmap.
A business plan is a roadmap, and in fact, I would say that from the inception of the thought of what it is that you want to do, that is your starting point for your roadmap. And what we do at 1863 is help you to conceptualize that thought into something that's coherent, that makes sense, and not just for an investor, but for you as well, and helps you to come to the end of the road in the creation of your vision and exactly what it is that you want to have.
That's exactly what it is. Now let me speak to Dr. Oloke. Dr. Oloke, what is it that you do in your company? Tell the viewers and see.
Okay, thank you. Yes, we basically are a multidisciplinary consultancy. We do have a very strong engineering sort of construction ethos in what we do.
Yes.
But just because we're engineers mostly, we have over the years got involved with a lot of development, infrastructure and the likes. What we have tried to do as a company is to work in partnership with several other people so that we have more capacity.
Yes.
Particularly when we go into countries, we're basically based here in the UK,
Yes.
but obviously we have affiliations in a few other countries just by reason of this principle. And we find that that's advantageous because it allows us to have a lot of knowledge transfer, a lot of enhanced capacity to deliver projects on a bigger scale.
That's right.
One of the things we also try to promote is to move away from the conventional sort of funding streams, and that's why we're always tagging along the likes of
Yes.
June to make sure that we have them on board with us, so that we can look at other means of funding or financing projects.
That's right.
And make them sustainable and viable.
Perfect. Now, in your area, jargon is very important.
Yeah.
And you mentioned the word capacity. Now, to somebody out there who wants to work with you, what would capacity mean? What do you mean by capacity? Enhanced capacity in what you do?
Yes.
Do you mean they've got to go in a classroom and learn, or can they bring their skills? What is it?
Yeah, it's a bit of both. There are times that what we basically just do is start from the kind of classroom discussions, training,
Right.
and there are times that it's a bit of like a jigsaw puzzle.
Yes.
We see it as the whole picture coming together when we bring in our different specializations and our different areas of focus to be able to bring a bigger picture to
Yes.
being. So we look at capacity development as or capacity enhancement as something that we leave quite flexible
Okay.
to be able to solve the challenge that's on ground.
For example, I know I'm a community man. There's lots of other people that I've been mentoring through my college system, which is in Alderbury, CPA College in Alderbury. They come through the door and say, "Oh, I'm from the engineering background, but of course, blah blah, this is missing. But I'm very good at AutoCAD."
Yeah.
Would that sort of service be valuable to you?
Oh yes, very, very, very much so. Because basically CAD services, for example, as you've used as an example, are very essential in helping us to conceptualize ideas. Most clients that want to, actualize a project, a hospital,
Yes.
a hostel facility, or a hotel, whatever it is, would normally not be able to put it down. They have it in their minds.
Yes.
So it's in talking with them, and then with the skills of people who have CAD skills like that, then we can actually sit down together and actually get the model sort of designed. So it is a process that allows people to bring whatever it is that they're able to contribute
Perfect.
every time.
So, can you hear that? If you've got a skill and you know how to use CAD, I think you can launch yourself as self-employed and apply to use consortium and make some money. Money is flying all over. Don't sit down and wait. Now, the next question is asking, are you also coming to present on the 2nd of June?
Oh yes.
Jubilee weekend, Dr. Oloka is here. So all you engineers out there, CAD qualified personnel, and those people are linked into the construction industry, whatever it is, come and listen. And also want to hear from you, because we're going to be changing cultures. Business culture is, I learned one time when I was discussing, I think it's for yourself, David, how you do businesses and you construct some ideas. You go on the basis that we may not make money in this. Now, you consultants out there, sometimes you charge so much money, £10,000 upfront. Sometimes it's good to look at equity, isn't it?
Yes.
So, and this equity thing is very important, and I will just talk to David about equity. Why should you look at equity as a long-term thing, David?
No, there's absolute value in equity. And I think that from the perspective of a long-term relationship that you might wish to build in a particular structure, in a particular organization, depending on what it is that what the project is and what you're seeking to do. So there's certainly value in equity. There's also value in capital. And this is where you have to look holistically at what it is that you're seeking to achieve. And whether it is that having equity, which in the legal sense of the term means fairness, whether that is what is needed for you and your particular project at that particular time. And this is where 1863 comes in, is that we can advise and support you as to what are the right vehicles, the right ways to structure yourself within a particular vehicle. So for example, whether you take, I don't know, about 20 to 30% equity in a company, and you help to grow that company, and then you grow with that company, and then you can then have a share of the profits of that company later on. And in fact, as we're seeing today with Facebook, there's some instant millionaires being created today because Facebook is going for an IPO, and they're going to today. Those people who took shares at much lower value and who took equity in Facebook 9 years ago when it started are certainly going to be making a lot of money today.
Did you hear that? Very, very, very clear. Now, I want to ask Dave, because I was in a meeting one day and I said this, or we are setting up a special purpose vehicle. Now, during the networking meeting, this guy from a different discipline, I don't know if they've ever heard about the special purpose vehicle. He says, he's excited about that. Is it going to be electrical or? Because, so I want to explain to the people what I mean by vehicle.
Okay. Yes, well, a special purpose vehicle can certainly put electrifying feelings in somebody. But it's not as wondrous as one might think. You know, we always have to go back to basics, and frankly, a special purpose vehicle is just a fancy way of saying a company,
That's right.
or of saying a partnership, or a limited liability partnership. So whatever it is that you are seeking to do, you must have a legal structure around what you are seeking to do. And that legal structure must facilitate how you process what it is that you're going to do. So that legal structure must mean that you have to have the roadmap that we go back to. So you have your articles of association, you have your memorandum, which are the constitution, which determine the way that you handle your business. So a special purpose vehicle is merely the manner in which you're going to deal with your business. So it can be a company or it can be a partnership. Structured in whatever part of the world.
You've got the answer now, haven't you? Now coming back to Dr. Oloke, and Dr. Oloke, in terms of the capacity building in the construction industry, I know there's a lot of engineers down there, and I know the training that you go through, you are hands-on as well as theoretical. Now I want us to bring it, because you've done very, very well. You run your own company. So I want you to tell fellow engineers how they can now transform or metamorphose into becoming entrepreneurs and set up their own establishment. How did you do it?
I think it's a bit of first to do with the person.
Yes.
Obviously, it's a simple truth that we can't all be entrepreneurs or leading businesses, but there's also the aspect of the drive. I remember sharing this with you a couple of weeks back, that engineers are very, very number savvy. We're just so particular about doing numbers and doing technical stuff.
Yes.
Many times we shy away from taking on bigger responsibilities.
Yes.
And when you go around and you find big construction firms today, a lot of them are run by accountants, a lot of them are run by economists, some people who know very little engineering but know how to manage people and know how to envision. So it's about stepping up the plate, taking some risks if you feel you want to become that, training yourself in a bit more of the management side of things, and then obviously being able to pioneer into in areas. Engineers are very trained to be very specialists in certain areas, and they tend to stay in those modes for a long time.
So you recommend they should look at management aspects.
Yes.
Yes, and then they can see how the whole thing is managed, and you can do it yourself, and then you need to train others to run things.
And again, it brings me to that point where I raised earlier about capacity building,
That's right.
networking, because it might just be that you could get a partner who is much more on the management side.
That's right.
And then you work together to actually lead a company. In that respect.
Now, I just want us to jump in the next 2 minutes into Africa. How do you see yourself working with Africa? Is there anywhere that you think you might work with Africa? Are you already doing it? Can I start with you?
Oh yes, we are already in Africa. We obviously work in Nigeria. We have done some work in Angola, and we're looking very, very eagerly to get into Zambia.
Perfect.
And there is really an opportunity to work in Africa. Obviously, some of us do have the African background, so there is that pull
That's
to
right.
always want to see how we can enhance development back home. And the potentials there also are challenges,
Yeah.
which with our background, with our expertise and the experience we've got, obviously working here in the UK and parts of the West, we feel is going to be added value in going back to Africa.
And we say challenges are opportunities for making another business. If they have got a challenge in administration, you administrators set up something that can provide a service to them. So this is the space. And then you can tell the people why should they come to the next meeting, 2nd of June 2012, because you'll be presenting. Why should they come, please?
Come and listen to me.
I love that.
To be quite serious, I think it would provide a lot of networking opportunities.
Yes.
I think that's the very key thing. Apart from the fact that you will be hearing from the wealth of knowledge of people. Why reinvent the wheel when somebody else has already done it? You might find that you'll be hearing things that would help you move your business, your profession, your development, whatever it is you're doing, to the next level, and give you another platform to see the world in a slightly, different perspective, which we hope would help you.
Perfect. A reason to come. Delia, working in Africa or the Caribbean or other places, tell me.
Yes. Well, we are already in Africa. In our legal department, we've been doing some work with quite large mobile technology company in Nigeria, and we've successfully completed that a couple of days ago. We are also been working on with one of our partners on a housing development in Ghana, and we have taken on projects that are seeking to enhance development in Zambia. So we're currently advising on those projects. So in terms of working in Africa, we are thankfully already there, and we're looking to enhance our capacity and our access into Africa, and more particularly so Zambia.
Perfect.
I would mention also, we have been working on a massive oil deal in Egypt, and it's just been so very interesting, the different cultural nuances that I've found in relation to the different countries in Africa. And on a microscopic level, I found the same, frankly, in the Caribbean. And when we spoke about having the cultural business exchange program, I thought it would be a phenomenal opportunity to allow us to talk about the different cultural nuances that we have, and to see how we can fit those together to do business for profit.
For profit.
And this is for profit for us as companies ourselves, as organizations ourselves, and for the countries themselves, because it's about moving development forward, and it's a constantly moving and learning cycle. And that we use our strengths and our cultural strengths, which are our foundational underpinning, are what will give us the confidence to go out there and move forward on that profit-making venture.
Perfect. You had cultural nuances. If you don't understand that word, come on the 2nd of June 2012. Deirdre is going to elaborate more on cultural nuances. Thank you very much for joining me on the show.
Thank you.